Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Quick and Carry Kitchen. I'm Kristen Madreen, and I have a wonderful recipe for all of you today. A couple weeks ago, I promised you that I was going to do some vegan recipes, and so this one is vegan and gluten-free. It is economical and it is delicious. You might have everything you need for this already at your house and not have to buy anything at the store. So I want to give a shout out of congratulations to Talani Sumner from North Carolina, who won our tongs for this last week. And for this week, I want you to leave me a comment down below and tell me if you've ever cooked anything vegan or not. You know, a lot of people think that you have to choose to be vegan, but you can just choose to be vegan for one day or one meal, and that's what this kind of a recipe is great for. It is kid-friendly and mom-approved. So let's get down to what we're going to talk about today. I want to give a shout out to Virtual Vegan, who is the basic I got the basic recipe from her website. And hi, Kathy Lacey. Hi, Judy Burr. Glad that you guys could join us. You know, we had a little bit of trouble with our camera right as we were going live. So I'm really glad to see all of you here today. So Virtual Vegan is where my associate producer, Noelle, got this recipe. And she tried it a couple weeks ago and raved about it. And I thought, then this is the recipe that I want to use for the first of our vegan shows that we're going to do. And I also have to give a big shout out to greenhealthycooking.com for all the information about rice. So as you know, most of the Instant Pots or the Foodie, any of the electric pressure cookers can make rice. And rice is one of those things that really, once you've cooked it in an Instant Pot, you're probably going to throw away your rice cooker because it is so simple and so easy. And so in this Instant Pot, I've made 4 cups of rice. And when I was researching for this show, I read everything I could about the different philosophies of rice and why rice works in the Instant Pot. And I think that greenhealthycooking.com, her post on rice is the best one out there. So I'll put a link to that in the show after we get done today. So if you want to go and read what she wrote about cooking rice, her rice is so easy to do because it's 1 to 1. So 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of water. 4 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. The only thing you add in is a half a teaspoon of salt for every cup. And so 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of water, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and you put it in the pot. And then she has a cooking chart. And for the recipe that I used today, I used a white rice, which only needs 3 minutes of cooking in the Instant Pot, and then you let it natural pressure release. And so that ends up being about a 15 to 20 minute wait for your rice, but then your rice is perfectly done. And I do have to say, her method worked today. Our rice is beautiful and perfect, and it's going to be so good with the dish that we've made to make over it. So, hi Margaret, how are you? Kathy Leathers, Darby Causo, good morning. It must be early at Darby's house. Darby's in Arizona. Lori Stribling, good morning from Salem, Oregon. Gail Bell, welcome. Amy Main, I'm so glad to see you. Amy said that she made vegan lentil and spinach soup the other day. I bet that was delicious, Amy. I'm sure that that was good. Okay, so this recipe is super simple, and I'm going to take the cover off of my Instant Pot and show you what I have in here. Before the show, I took an onion and I halved it, and then I just chopped it like this so that I had half rounds of onion, one large onion, and I put a tablespoon or two of olive oil in the pot first. Then I sauteed the onion for probably 3 to 5 minutes, and then I added 5 cloves of garlic. And you can do what you want to do about garlic, but here in the Quick and Carry kitchen, we love garlic. And so I put 5 in this batch. And then once I'd cooked the garlic with the onions for about a minute, I turned the pot off of saute, added 2 cups of water, and 1 can of cream of coconut milk. Now, know that some of you are going to ask about the milk, but if we used a different kind of milk, it would not be vegan. And so to keep the recipe vegan, you do want to use a can of coconut milk. You could use full fat, which is what I prefer to use, or you could use low fat, but you want to use a can of it, not the kind that's in a carton, but the kind that's in a can. And you add all of the water and the whole can of the coconut milk and the coconut water that are in it, 2 tablespoons full of curry powder, a tablespoon of sugar, and then 5 cups of diced potatoes. And I used a red waxy potato, and I think that that's the best for this. A white potato is going to be too granular and it's going to break down, whereas the red, they really hold their shape beautifully after 20 minutes under pressure. So what you do is you put everything in. You've sauteed your onion and garlic, you've put everything in, you put your lid on, lock your toggle onto sealing, and push 20 minutes on your manual or your pressure cooking setting. And then let it have about a 10-minute pressure release, a natural pressure release, just because it really, because of the pressure and the liquid, you could get some spurts. If you were in a hurry, you certainly could do a quick pressure release. I don't think that you have to do a natural pressure release in this one. But then now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this dish by hitting saute. And I have made a little slurry here of cornstarch and water. And I'm just going to make sure that that's all ready to go. And this is just a thickener. And it's actually pretty thick with just the water and the coconut milk. But this does add a nice body to the dish. So there's that. And of course, I got some all over my hand, because that's how I move. Now, here comes the secret ingredient. You can use fresh green beans, but I'm using frozen green beans. And this is why this is so economical. Onions, potatoes, and frozen green beans. I mean, come on. So now, what I'm going to do is I've got my pot on saute, and I'm going to just let it cook now that I've added the green beans. And I've added about 2 cups of frozen green beans. And I think that's about right. You could add the whole rest of the bag, but I like this ratio of it. And then you're just going to let it cook on saute until the frozen green beans are soft and flavorful and have soaked up some of the juice. So really and truly, you can't get an easier recipe than this. It's super delicious. And I've got one to show you. And you can't really see the rice. There's the rice underneath there, and then the curried potatoes and beans on top of that. And it's really flavorful and delicious. The office smells so good today, and everyone is so excited for our lunch, which will be gluten-free, vegan, economical, and delicious. So who else is out there today? Hi, Carmen Presti. How are you? Amy is visiting her parents in Punta Gorda, Florida this week. Hi, Francis Eagle. How are you today? Virginia Roebuck, Lena Wallace, glad to see you. Sue Johns, Terry Banks, how is everyone? Marilyn Goucher from Oxford, Georgia. Make sure that you share this show with someone who might be new to Instant Pot cooking. This is a great recipe, and as we ask you if you'd like the recipe, just say yes or yes please, and we'll be happy to send you the PDF of our recipes. We love that some of you collect all of our recipes. That makes us very happy because we want to share all of the good recipes that we make here on our show. And as you can see now, the whole pot is getting warm, and I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear that it's really starting to cook in there. And those green beans will be done. When I first made it this morning, I think I decided that like a half an hour of letting everything sit and meld together was really good, but you don't have to do this. If you're in a hurry one night when you get home from work and you just need a quick, easy dinner, you can't beat 20 minutes of rice in the Instant Pot and then 20 minutes of this. It's so simple, and it is really delicious. Hey, Janelle Sutterfield, how are you? Jill, it's glad to see you here today. Teresa Garces from Johnson from Springfield, Missouri. Hi, glad to see you along for the ride today. Thanks for coming to the kitchen. And so let's just do a quick review. I want to shout out to Green Healthy Cooking for the rice recipe. I will put that in the show notes after the show so that you can go and read what she has to say about rice, which I agree with. Everything that she says is really spot on, and rice in the Instant Pot should be one of the easiest things that you make. I know that some of you have 2 Instant Pots so that you could make something like this, the vegan curried potatoes and green beans in one pot and cook the rice in the other like I have. Otherwise, you can make the rice ahead of time and just heat it back up once you've got this together. You could even, now that this is cooking, I could take the rice out of it and just add it to this and get it all warm together. That would be really delicious. The recipe itself is a large yellow onion, 3 to 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, and you saute those. Then you're going to add water, coconut milk, and 5 cups of diced red potatoes, 2 tablespoons of curry powder, a tablespoon of sugar, and if you're eating sugar-free, you can certainly avoid that, but I do think that it does lend a little sweetness to the dish. And then you close your lid, lock your toggle, set the pot for 20 minutes. After that, you do a 10-minute natural pressure release, then turn the pot to saute, add the slurry of cornstarch and the frozen green beans, or fresh if you'd prefer, and you're good to go. What a simple, easy, and flavorful recipe. I cannot tell you how good it smells in the studio today. And I know that everyone is going to be so excited to have our little quick and carry kitchen lunch today. As usual, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you checking in. All of you who join me live every week, hello to all of you. I'm always so glad to say hello to some of you who have... Some of you, I see your names every week, and I just really appreciate your steadfast support of our show. Others watch later. We also welcome all of you. Like I said, be sure to share this recipe with someone who might be interested in vegan food. It doesn't hurt us at all to do some plant-based eating once a day, once a week, or even once a month. It's just a great way to eat. And thank you to all of you who write in and tell us where you're from and answer our question each week. We love hearing from you. We love your comments and your questions. And if any of you have ideas for future shows, we love to know if there's something that you'd like to see us make here in the Quick and Carry kitchen. So from all of us who are going to enjoy our rice made in one pot and our curry made in the other pot, thanks for watching. And as our patron saint of our show used to say, Julia Child always said, bon appetit.